Tell me off in a letter, completely ignore me.
Hey everybody, it is day 26 of NaNoWriMo. Our goal today is 43,342 words, and our topic today is leaving your book up to interpretation. And we're gonna get a little vloggy today. So when I say leave your book up to interpretation, I mean like give the plot a little elbow room for readers. Make sure you wrap up your main conflict. When I say elbow room, I don't mean you have a problem and then you let everything else fall apart. And you're like, that's elbow room, right? That's a landslide, alright? That's elbow room for people to die in the mud. What I mean when I say elbow room is like if you have like the little side plots where, you know, you have your minor characters and they have like an implied romance on the side or something, and you don't really want to wrap it up, you don't really want to say anything about it, then you can say that, you know, they changed their look. And the readers could interpret they're totally dating. They're totally doing it. So go ahead and hint and poke and prod, but never actually say outright what happens to your heart's content if you don't have, you know, enough time to finish it before the end of the month. If you do, but you also don't think that you need to flesh them out because you think you're going to be going too in-depth, you're going to go crazy because you're going to get more interested in your minor characters, like I know I do, yeah, then again, leave it up to interpretation. Our inspiration today is a little ambiguity. If you've ever been in a book group before, you know what wildly different interpretations readers can derive from the same passage. A screamingly obvious Freudian allegory to one reader will be a hilarious skewering of today's political parties to another. The discussions are especially fiery when an author leaves a little ambiguity in the book's ending. The main characters end up together, apart, eaten by rampaging zombies. As you start to head into the wrap-up for your book, feel free to leave a little ambiguity in your story. Leaving some plot moves unelaborated and characters' actions unclear means less work for you as a writer and gives readers the toothy satisfaction of putting the pieces together in ways that make sense to them. So, leave your book up to interpretation for the readers, but make sure that you wrap up everything that needs to be wrapped up for the story to be good and leave a few things a little vague, and I will see you tomorrow. We're gonna get a little vloggy here on my vlog. Boom. Who knew a vlog could get vloggy? We're gonna do a little get to know me because I thought, hey, you've all been staring at my ugly mug for 26 days now. You might as well know exactly who you're staring at. So I have a few questions that my followers on Tumblr asked me. And the braid's gone. So, number one. When did you start writing? When I was actually in 3rd grade, and that was the first time that I actually started to write a story, and it was kind of a knockoff version of the Magic Tree House and Doctor Who. Number two, what is one thing you can think of that was most inspirational to get you started on writing fantastic stories? I'm a very creative family, so my whole family's just always been inspirational, but I think the one thing that always inspired me was just the books I read when I grew up. The Hobbit I read with my dad every night. I read Harry Potter with my dad. I read A Wrinkle in Time with my parents. I read a lot of Narnia, a lot of C.S. Lewis. I read a lot of stuff like that when I was little instead of, you know, if you give a mouse a cookie or something. So I was really into sci-fi and really into fantasy, and those are my two favorite genres right now. So that's probably what got me most inspired to write a lot of the books I write now. Most motivational quote or some quote that inspires you. I have a lot of quotes hanging up in my room.
It's my favorite quote because it's true. You need to write and not really think about what you're doing, not worry about your inhibitions, just write and go for it, and then edit when you have inhibitions and you know what's going on and you know what's going on in your life and you actually have dreams. That makes sense. I really like that quote by Matthew Riley because that worried me a lot during when I was younger. I would worry if I was a real writer or not, and I was like, what if I never become a writer, and what if I never actually get my dream, and blah blah blah, and I realized that I've always been a writer. It's just I haven't been a famous one. She writes like she's starving, really explains the way I write, really explains why I write sometimes, because I
feel like I need to fill some kind of hole inside me, and writing fills that.
This is a quote that I actually it's from a fan fiction I wrote, but I liked the quote so much so I decided to show you guys. But it says, it's kind of blurry, so it says, "And I refused to be a chess piece in their elaborate games. Even if I was the queen and could be moved wherever I pleased, I was no object. I was a player." John Green's just funny. The Venn diagram of boys who don't like smart girls and boys who don't want to date is a circle. I just thought that was funny because it's true, in my opinion, that boys like smart girls and they want smart girls. And they want girls who are going to actually hold up a conversation, as girls want guys who will actually hold up a conversation. This is from a song called Your Guardian Angel by Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. It was one of the songs that inspired me to write the book series that I'm trying to get published now called The Protectors. Seasons are changing and waves are crashing and stars are falling all for us, and I thought that I just like it because it's beautiful and the song was inspiring and gorgeous, so. Number 4, favorite snack food. White cheddar popcorn by Smart Food Popcorns. Favorite in the world. Seriously, I could hate your guts, but if you get me a whole bag of Smart Food white cheddar popcorn, oh, I love you forever. 5, hobbies other than writing. Yeah, I play guitar, I sing, I play a lot of Sims, I'm on Tumblr an ungodly amount of time, I make these videos. I go to school. It's not really a hobby. I read a lot. Other than writing, it's still writing, but other than writing originals, I do write fan fiction. And the two things I write fan fiction for happen to be animes slash manga, but I'm not a big anime manga person. These are just like stories that I liked and I thought I could expand more. So, by the way, they're Fruits Basket, if you know them, and Ouran High School Host Club. If you're into anime or you know those two, you will know they are probably two of the fluffiest animes slash manga that you can read. So that was me. Number 6, what colleges are you looking at or want to get into? The colleges that I'm applying to are George Mason, James Madison University, and College of William & Mary. Those are all in-state for me in Virginia. And I'm also looking at UNC Chapel Hill in Wilmington and Elon University in North Carolina. I'm only looking at North Carolina and Virginia because those are my two favorite states right now. North Carolina because everyone in my family went to North Carolina schools, which is weird because we've all lived in Virginia. But my parents went to Wake Forest, my mom got her master's at Chapel Hill, my sister went to Wake Forest and graduated from there, my other sister went to NC State, so we're big North Carolinians. Number 7, what do you want to do for a career? I want to be in PR or marketing, sell my soul to advertising and stuff like that because it pays well, and I think it'd actually be something I would be really good at because I am good with people and I'm good with creativity and writing, so all those things would be really good, and I could easily learn my hand at graphic design if that came to it. 8, top 3 things on your bucket list. I want to fall in love and get married, so I guess that's bucket list number 1. I want to publish a bestseller, and I want to see one of my books made into a movie one day. I think that's every author's dream, to be honest, is to have, no, I think I'm going to revise that. Every author's dream, I think, is to have one of their books turned into a good movie. So that's what I want. I want one of my books to be turned into a good movie. Number 9, favorite character from something I've written and why? My friend Ashley is gonna watch this. I don't even know if she watches these, but she's gonna watch this and laugh because she knows this character, and not a lot of people read this book that I wrote. I wrote a book called The Protectors, and my favorite character was a minor character actually named Dane. These certain people live forever in this book. He is 14 years old physically, but he's hundreds and hundreds of years old in reality because he's been around for so long, and he hates being 14. So he hates the body he's in, he hates the life he has, but he's one of those people who just like, they're not that depressed, they're just like, oh, blah, 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 blah.
you know, like they know more, they know better, and they're always being really snarky with people. He's really short with people, but he's funny in my opinion. He's like the odd man out, but in a good way. It's hard to explain. I love him. Like, I love that character. And when you read a book series, you can always tell which character the author loved. Well, generally you can tell which character the author loved, but if you ever read my series, I think you'd probably be able to tell that I like Dane. I like writing Dane a lot because he's just a fun character to write. And number 10, favorite book. Oh, I hate this question. Because I don't have a favorite because I like a lot of books. I think I can just name a couple books, I guess, that I like. Well, I recently read the book Stolen by Lucy Christopher. Really like that book. That was an interesting book actually, because the main character is writing to her kidnapper, and she's going through a little Stockholm syndrome where she kind of falls in love with the kidnapper. And it's weird because the reader, as a reader, you kind of fall in love with the character too. So it's weird, but it's a really good book. Of course I love the Harry Potter series. I love the Narnia series. C.S. Lewis is just a phenomenal writer. Love Sarah Dessen. I think she's got some cute books. Like, they're interesting stories too, and they're just cute. I guess, what would be, I loved the book Just Listen, and I loved The Truth About Forever. Fluff series I love a lot. It's probably not the best written series, but it's very fluffy, it's cute, and I get girly feels when I read it. Is called Significance. It's a series by Shelley Crane, and it's mostly on Kindle, but it's so cute. Ooh, City of Bones. That's a good series. I'm reading City of Glass right now, and I'm also reading Gates of Fire. It's about the 300 Spartans that were killed, you know, in the battle with Persia and stuff like that. It's told from the viewpoint of a slave, and it's very graphic and very blah. It's such a boy book. I have to read it for my AP Literature class, and it's such a boy book. But it's easy to annotate, so that's nice. I'm also for the first time reading Book Thief, and I heard it's phenomenal. If you've read any of these books, by the way, that I'm mentioning, please tell me in the comments below. And the books that I'm reading right now, please tell me if they are good. Gates of Fire, The Battle of Thermopylae, Book Thief, and City of Glass.